Hello my friends, welcome back to Painting with Harold. And tonight we're going to be back on this little country road painting, part 2. And nobody commented on the question yesterday about when I'm doing big areas like these fields, if you would rather for me to just insert a video of something else, like, you know, some kind of little something comical, or, you know, just something to take away from having to sit here and watch me tap all this paint on. So, you know, if you get a chance, comment on that and let me know your feelings on it. I thought about maybe putting in some epic fails or something, you know, people falling or doing crazy stuff at work, you know, something just kind of funny to break up the monotony of the world. But anyway, we're going to get started, get the same colors tonight. If you wouldn't know, here on the first night, they're titanium white, phthalo blue, alizarin crimson, dark sienna, Van Dyke brown, sap green, cad yellow, yellow ochre, Indian yellow, and the evil bright red. And tonight I'm going to start with a little small round brush. It's just a 0 round, I think is what they call it. My numbers and writings all wore off, but best I can remember, this was a 0. And I'm going to come right over here on my canvas, and I'm just going to get a little of the Van Dyke brown out on the tip. You don't load a lot of paint on these little brushes. Alright, these are going to be our trees back in here that we talked about yesterday. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come up here and just make some indication of some trunks. And we'll do some kind of tall, some kind of short. We're gonna pull some of them down on into the field like that, and kind of widen them out at the bottom, because you know trees get a little wider down at the bottom. So we just give him a couple little feet here, like he's actually standing on something. Then we'll come in between them with one way off in the distance back here, just small. We don't need a lot of detail in all of them. On some of them we want them a little brighter, a little darker, I mean, so they'll look like they a little closer. And we'll pull those right down into our field here. And some of them we'll pull down a little further, and some of them we won't. Some of them we'll pull down a little shorter, because when we come up here and go to putting our leaves and all in, we want these to look like it's just a little area of trees back here. Alright, we'll make this one a little bigger, give him a little wider stance. And we'll pull him on down into the painting. So far we'll make him our tallest one. About like so. We'll give him a foot stand on out here. About like that. Then I'll come right here and get a little of the dark sienna that's right beside it. And I'll come up here and just put a little indication of a couple more little small ones back in here. And we'll come over here and give ourselves a little bit bigger one. And we'll bring it down into the field. Give it a little foot stand on, about like so. We'll come in and grab just a little more of Van Dyke. Come in here and Give ourselves a little indication of another little one right here. And bring it right down in front of that bush. And we'll put us another one right here beside this little tree. We'll pull this one on down into the paint a little bit. About like so. We'll pull this one down just a little. Not much. Alright. I'm gonna fix this one a little bit. He's kind of looking pitiful over here. Just make him a little bigger. Give him a little bit more body anyway. All of them won't be healthy. I mean, some of them are going to be crooked. Some of them are going to be a little bit smaller, just like in nature. Alright, then I'll clean that brush a little bit. Alright. I'll pick up a 1-inch brush now. You remember how we was doing the grass yesterday? Well, I'm going to come right back up here in these same colors. And you know our cad yellow picked up the yellow ochre and the Indian yellow and the green. All those colors we had mixed in that pile. I hope y'all using the same colors from yesterday. If not, it's just that pile of paint that I had that had all these colors in it. Alright, I'm going to come right up here at the bottom of my little trees, and I'm just going to tap in some grass around their feet just to kind of cover them up a little bit, just enough to hide their little foots, just like so. Alright, I'm going to hang on to that brush. Now I'm going to grab that little brush we was just using, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to get just a dab of thinner on it. And I'm going to come over here into my white, and then I'm going to come up here and grab just a little bit of the dark sienna. And I just want to brush mix these two together. I'm just looking for a light brown. And I want to come up here. We're going to say our sun's coming from about this angle. So the right side of these trees are probably going to show a little lighter color. I don't think they'll be real dark. I mean real light, because there's just not a whole lot of ways that light's going to get in there too much, because we're going to have a lot of foliage up here in a second. But just in case some does sneak through, we want to give an indication of it. I really don't think it will, but you never know with nature. Alright, and this one down here at the bottom, I'll kind of lighten it up a little bit more. Just a little bit. Then we'll come over here, give this one a little bit. I ain't gonna too much fool with those that's sitting way back off in the distance because they're not really, I'm hoping we don't really see much of them. We'll get this one a little bit, like so. And I'll come out here, give this one just a little bit more, not much, just about like so. I think that's enough to show that if they do get a hold of any light, it'll show it right there. I'm gonna knock all that paint off. Then I'm gonna come right back up here where the hard line is. I'm gonna come on the dark side. Well, I guess I gotta get some. I'm gonna pick up just a little bit of the phthalo blue. Just straight phthalo blue. And I'm gonna come right over where the shadow meets the reflection. Just real lightly. Come down that other side of the tree. Just real light. And then knock some of that paint off. And come back up here and kind of just go right over the middle. Just real light. Just kind of let them colors blend together. Keep down a real hard line. And we'll do a little bit on this one. Alright, these are blending already, so we got lucky on that one. Let's see if we can get lucky on this one. Yeah, that don't look too bad. Wow. Okay, I wonder why they didn't blend like that on that first one. Alright, we'll come down this one now. That blue just gives it like a reflective light look, but it also gives it a pretty good shadow that it adds just a hint of realism, you know, for something that's not really no more detailed than this is. I mean, we're not doing a real realistic painting, but and this helps. Alright, not like that's all we should have to do. I'm going to go ahead and clean this brush up now. Alright, I think if I was standing in this little patch of woods right here, I would probably, let me get one of these little small flat brushes. Alright, let's say if the light's coming across this way, shadow's going to be cast off to that side. So I'm going to come up here and pick up just a little bit of this blue. And I'll just go right into the phthalo blue. And I'll come off this little tree right here. And I'll kick out a shadow this way. Just real light. And then kick out one this way. And then maybe one this way. Just come in there and pull him out. And then one this way. Not like so. And a little bitty one back here. Maybe this one. Just bring it out a little. And just tap in a little shadow. Not like that. That should give us a little depth when we get to this part. And I think we're about there. Alright, I'm going to pick up my script liner. And I I'm going to come up here into my Van Dyke brown color. It's a real dark color. It's the color we use to make all that grass and bushes and stuff with. There's a little bit of it left, not much. Enough to do this though. And I'm just going to roll that brush around in it like we always do. And then on the way out, just roll it and pull it out and let it bring out to that real fine point. Then I'm going to come up here. Let's see. I'll do this one first. Alright, that's what I thought. It's running. So that one's supposed to be a taller tree. Alright, I'm going to knock some of this off on my brush. Let's see if I can catch this before it runs any more. Looks like we're supposed to have a big tree out here. And this was not a planned big tree, but you know, if it's going to be one, you might as well make it one now. Alright, pull him on up. Just like so. We'll pull him out up here, give him some limbs. Give this one right here a couple limbs. Like so. And pull these little ones on up. Just kind of let them disappear out into the painting out here. Just pulling some limbs wherever, you know. Pull him up, let him have a limb. Then the big one here, he's gonna have to have a couple. Paint now. Look over here. Work on this one. Bring him up. And this one. Those are going to be ones that's far off. Alright, then we'll work on this one. And this one. And bring this little one up here. And this little one up here. And this one. Give him a couple little limbs back in here. Most of these are going to get covered up, but we want to do them just in case they do show. We want to know they're here. In fact, when we go up here and go to making the foliage, we'll try to make it a point to leave some of the limbs showing. And since we're the ones making them, we can do that. Just bringing out some limbs here and there. That's why I'm not being real careful with how the limbs really look. Then you can just come back in these empty spots in here and just pull you some straight up little tree shapes and trunk shapes And it'll just look like they go deeper and deeper back into the woods. Alright, clean that one up right quick. Then I'm going to pick up the 1-inch brush that we used to tap the grass with a second ago. And I'm going to come up here and clean these up where I just messed them up. And then I got one right there and one right there. And just like that, those are done. Alright, now I'm going to knock the green paint off on my napkin over here. And I'm going to come right over here into my dark sienna. Right here. And I'm just going to pull a little of this color down. And I'm just going to tap right into it with the green on the brush. I'm just mixing a little dark sienna. And whatever green's left on the brush is getting mixed together. And I'm just tapping straight down into it. And just make sure your bristles are open. Alright, then I'm going to come over here, and I guess we're going to start up here in the clouds. And I just want to start giving myself the indication of some leaves up here. Just make sure you maintain a decent looking little tree shape. And just come through here and give yourself some leaves here and there. You can come back and get you a little more to paint, because this is good thick paint. You know, we want this paint to be kind of thick, so when we come back with our highlights, we can thin it out and it'll stick to it. Because what we're going to do when we come back up with our highlights is we're going to be making our color changes wherever we need to make a tree in the front or pull one to the back, whatever we need to do to make it look the way we need it to look. But just come up here and just tap you on some color. That's all you got to do. Not like that. Alright, now, see how that's starting to look like you could come up here and walk through these trees? That's kind of what we was going for. About like that. Now, I'll go ahead and wash that brush. I'll drop it in the thinner. I see a hair right there that come out. Okay. Alright. Now I'm going to pick up my oval brush, and I'm going to put just a little thinner on it. And I'm going to come over here into my yellow. It's got all my other colors in it. I'm going to pull in a little of the yellow ochre just to make sure that it's not a solid yellow color. And I'm just going to tap right into it just like we always do, just to make sure these bristles are open. Because remember, you got to have the bristles open. If they're not open, they're not going to work for you. Alright, let's start on this one back here first. We'll just come up here and kind of put a little bit of yellow color on him. And then while that color's on the brush, we'll come over here and we'll let this one back here be the same color. About like that. Alright. Let's give this one a little bit little bit right there. It's just not tying together the way I want it to. There we go. Now, alright, so now I'm going to come up here and get just a little of the green. And I'll bring it down. And this will have a little more green look to it. And we'll come right next door to him here. And we'll start coming in here with this green color. And we'll make this look like a different color tree right here. And make sure you don't kill all your darks up here, because this is it's getting pretty colorful up here before we get done mixing these colors up. They're gonna be dancing around pretty good up here. And if we're not careful, we won't have no separation up here. We'll just have colors mixing together. It's not gonna look right. Alright, we'll stop that one about right there. Just about like so. And tell you what we'll do. We'll let a little part of this one over here. Grab a little more thinner and a little more green. And since this one's over here getting by itself over here, we'll come in here with a little bit different color green. And we'll tap him in over here. And just kind of let him work his way down, about like so. Alright, I'm going to wash this brush. Then we'll come up here into my crimson. And we'll come down here into my yellow ochre. And tap these colors right on the brush. Then we'll come right up here and start this one. Give him some color. About like so. And then I'll even come down into right here for a little of it. About like so. Then I will wash my brush again. Alright, let's see. I want to take a little bit of the bright red and come in, and a little bit of the Indian yellow into this color, and maybe just a tad bit of the green, just a little more of the red, and maybe a dab of white. I want this color to be a little bit lighter. I don't want it glaring white, but I do want it lighter. Then I'm going to sneak right in here, and I'll put this color in here. And that's just enough color change that you can see it. Nope. I'm going to have to put a little more white on it. But we can do that. We'll do that right quick. We'll just add a little white. And we'll really concentrate on the white over here where this color is. That way it'll kind of separate in there like so. Yep, now there's a little separation in there now. Alright, so now we got us a pretty neat looking little forest back in there that we could walk up through if we wanted to. And I will wash this brush again. Alright, I think what I'm going to do, instead of trying to do it with the knife, I think I'm just going to draw me in a little cabin shape up here. So I'm going to pick me up some Van Dyke Brown and pull out here on this little brush. And I'm back to using that little round brush again. I want to try to show some people that may not know this. Okay. Let's say we want to put us a building right here in front of this little tree. Alright, what we want to do is we're going to come up here, and the first thing you got to know is, which we're going to drop it down a little bit. Okay, when you make your lines, okay, say you want this line straight down, and we don't want a real big cabin in here or building, because everything's supposed to look far away. Alright. Now when we come across here with our straight line, like so, I want to keep this line straight as we can, because what we're trying to do, or what I'm trying to do right now, is I'm just trying to make a rectangle. That's all I'm trying to do. Just trying to make a rectangle. Okay, just like so. Let me get it straight. Okay. Now, imagine, if you will, that you're standing back here or over here somewhere, and you looking at that building. Okay, if this is your horizon, your vanishing point's going to be up here somewhere, wherever you want it to be. But since we're going off this way, we got to have a vanishing point. So when you go to pull your lines, like say when you get ready to do the roof, everything's going to have to line up. And everything's got to go the same direction, if that makes sense. In other words, when you come up with your roof, if you come up into right here, like so, you cut through this line, just like that, your next line back here is going to have to pretty much do the same thing. And it needs to follow in the same direction. See? Like that. But now these lines are going to be pulled towards that vanishing point. So this line is going to come up, and it's going to pull this way. It's not going to be straight. It's going to have a little curve to it. Just like this one's going to want to pull up, just like so. See? And then when you get that done, you can come in here and fill it in with color, and watch what happens when you fill all this in with color. But since you got both of these going the same direction,
gonna look like your roof line now. See how I did that?
Just like so. And then you're going to have to work on the other side. So you get to thinking, well, now how am I going to do that? Well,
what you got to do is this line here, you just want to come down at an opposite angle over here, just like so. And then pull this side down. And then this is just going to come across here, back that way. Just like that. So then you just come up here and start coloring everything in. And once you start coloring everything in, if it don't all line up right, you'll know right off. Because you're just going to have a brown object up here that's all the same color, and it's not going to look nothing like a cabin or a house or nothing else. But that's the beauty of coming back in with highlights. Because when you come back in here to highlight everything, you can change your perspectives. And you can add your perspectives in. Alright. Just like so. And then come across here like this. Alright.
now you have a cabin.
And I know what you're thinking. That don't look nothing like a cabin. And you'd be right to assume that, because it don't. Not right now. Which I don't really know if we want to. I don't know if we want to leave this a cabin or maybe turn it into a little small country church.
There's times like right now I wish I could talk
To y'all and see what y'all rather it be. So it looks like this side here is going to be just a little bit wider coming down. And we can do that. Pull it down a little further. Like so. And then bring it back across. And then make this a little bigger. Like so.
and you can keep manipulating until you get it
Looking the way you need it to look. That's the beauty of it. It's another reason I like oil painting right there. It is so forgiving.
I think we can work with that. I think we can.
If I find out we can't, then we're just going to have this big brown structure up here. We're going to have a lot of trees over it. No, we won't do that. We'll figure something out on it.
We'll turn it into something if it ain't nothing but a parking garage. Alright. And with that said, I will be right back. Alright, welcome back. And we're going to get back to work on our little cabin here. I'm going to come up here with my little brush. And I'm going to come right into some white. And I'm going to start over here. I'm just going to touch right in here and give myself a little spot of white to work out of. And I'm going to come back up here on my roof now. And the reason I'm using white is because I already know that pulling it across this brown is going to darken up. But it'll still be light enough for me to see where everything is that I've got to work on up here. So we're just going to come back up here now and outline our little building. Still haven't made up my mind what it's going to be yet. See how that white's already starting to darken? But that's fine for now. Because I got to pull this corner on out and bring it across like so. A little more white here. Because we gotta come back up to our roof over here now. Like so. Let me pull a little of this down. Come over here about like so. Which means we gotta have a corner right here. And we can come up here and start working some of this out. And it'll just give us a little lighter color. Just enough to see what's going on. See how I did that? Just giving us enough highlights to work with. We hadn't darkened nothing up yet. Alright, now take a little more. I'll come over here. Let's put a little bit over here just to have a place to park it. Alright, we'll come over here and start on this corner. We'll pull it straight down. And we'll come right here on this corner and pull it straight down. And pick a little bit of this color up. And bring this one up to match it, to meet it. Just like so. Alright, right now would be a good time to determine if you want this to be a log cabin or if you just want it to be a regular wood cabin or whatever. And I think I'm just going to leave mine a little regular wooden cabin today. Alright, now over here, let me put a little more color in here. Over here, we already know we got our angle coming down on the roof over here. So we'll follow this line down. But we have to have our peak up here. Now, looking at it at this angle, you know there's going to be some dark under here where it's casting a shadow. So, where it's doing that at is what we call the eave. Let's put this right here. So when we come down, we're going to come back toward our house right here. And then where our eave's at, we want it to stay dark. So we're going to come right under that and put us a little line and leave us a dark color up there. And pull down from there, like so. And then just bring it all the way up to this roof line. Like so. And then have this roof line coming down. And have all this light color in here. But over here we had to have a little dark because
of the way everything is lining up. Just like so. Alright, now we got off, or I did, I got off right there. See, this line here should be straight. This line should come across here at an angle, like so.
It should make the building look like it's going back yonder way.
So when we get into how to fix it, I'll show you. But it should pull back at that angle across here.
Alright, so now we want to come back over here and pick up our straight Van Dyke brown again and get a little bit of it on the brush.
And we want to come back to where our eave is and want to start pulling it in kind of at an angle from the corner out there, and just pull it in straight toward the house, all the way up to the top, and then bring the dark color back down on this side.
Now we're going to get up here and line all this up here in a little bit, but until we do. Alright, at this point, let's say we make it a church. Alright, and in order to make it a church,
Okay, we don't have to have, since it's going to be like an old building, we don't have to have the kind of church that's going to be a real tall steeple or no cathedral looking church, not way back here in the woods. We just want it to look like a little country church that
people go to worship the Lord and
do whatever they want to do and have a good time.
Alright. Now, pick up just a little bit more brown and bring it out here so we have something to work out of it. Alright.
To do that, what we want to do is we're going to come up here, and you see the point of your building out here, where it comes down on both sides. I want to come back just a little bit, and we're going to come up here and put us a little square across here, or a little rectangle, whatever you want it to be. We're going to make sure it's straight up here. And I'm not so much worried about
The tree behind it right now. Alright.
Now, when you get this done right here, when you get it how you want it, okay, like so. You want to come up to the middle right here. Let's just say you put your little mark right in the middle and bring it, say about like so. Just pull your line right up out of the middle and come down at a little angle here on both sides and just cut the corners off across like so, and then fill it back in just like that.
and get it to where it's even like so. And if that don't look right to you,
now's the time to work on it. If you think you need to add a little paint to this side, now's the time to do it. If you think you need to add a little of this side, whichever side you think you need to work on.
just like so. Alright.
Then we'll come right out of the top with as straight a line as we can draw. And we don't want a real big one, just a little straight line. Just like so. And then we'll put us a indication of a little cross up here.
Just to show that it is indeed a church. Just like that. Alright, now I'll come back over here into my white, or this light color.
And I'll start, that may be a little too much, but I'll start over here again. Just like so. And I'll start pulling all this down. Just like so. Because we're probably going to come back in here in a few minutes and darken this up some. Probably not much, but a little bit. Just like so. We just got to get everything laid out the way we want it right now. Alright. So this is going to be just a little bit darker right here. Where this comes down. And comes back across. Just like so. Fix the angle of your roof. And fix your sides here. Just like so.
That roof just does not want to cooperate with me.
But what it don't know is it's got to, because I got to get through with this building before I can do anything else.
Okay, now
We got our eave up here. Over here on this side. We got it all pulled in the way it needs to be. We got this side pulled out. Alright.
So let's say we come in here and get a little yellow ochre. Since we got all this dark color on our brush, and we just leave it in there, and we'll mix this yellow ochre up.
And we'll come on this side first, and we'll follow our roof line like so. And we'll start coming down.
May need a little more ochre.
But we want to start coming down in here now. What are some lines? And I'm just barely pulling this color. I'm not pulling it hard. I just want these colors to look like old boards and old wood up here. So I'm just lightly pulling. And that brown is it's darkening it down pretty good. So I'm gonna come up here and grab just a little bit of white and pull into this color.
Now we don't want this side to get real light.
light on us, but we're gonna need it light enough that we can see it too. All right, now there we go. And then come over here and close down another one. Just stay under your roof best you can when you do this. Now I know that when Bob does a building, I know it's a whole lot quicker process than this. Alright, just make sure you stay under your roof line. That's the most important thing right now. Because if you get up in it, you're going to lose the angle of it. And it's just not going to look right.
Alright.
Still want to say right here. It's probably a bit more correct. Like so. Let me pull this down. Not like that.
Yep, I think so.
So let's go ahead and give us another little board back here.
Then we'll come back up here near our dark.
And we'll come back up here and fix all this stuff. Let this come out a little further. Like so. And come back across.
And now we got that little side fixed. Just like that. Alright. Now the front's going to be lighter because we'll say more lights get in. So I'll bring in more white now into that same color and just lighten it up some.
And we're going to come up here to our eave. And we're going to start. Let's just make us a line across here. We'll know where our eave's at. We'll start at that eave. And we'll start pulling this color straight down from it. Just straight down. Just like so. Give ourselves a little indication of boards again. All the way out to our corner. Just like so. And then over here, we got to start back down our roof. So we'll do that right here, like so. That roof to come over here, and then we get to drop down from that corner like so.
Alright. Now we're going to take a little more dark color.
And come back up here and fix our roof where this comes across. Where that comes off the building at. It's got to have a little bit sharper point where it comes across. And then we got to have our corner darker where it comes down. And that way it shows. Come up here and put our dark color back in our roof. And then our roof line. this way, from here across, and then our brown, come back on our building.
And then our little eave showing over there. Alright, now. We're going to have to fix this perspective coming across here. So to do that, we're just going to pick us up some dark. And we'll come down to where it's supposed to stop at out here. And want to pull this color across. Like so. Just like this. Okay. Now it's like you're standing here looking at the building. And you can see the front of it almost. Well, it don't look right because we got that big spot under there. So we're going to pick us up a little flat brush, nothing special, just a little cheap flat brush. Put a little bit of that grass color on it. And we're just going to bring it across here and dance it right under the eave on that dark spot. And just let that grass clean up our little line here. We'll take a little of the green color and come back up here and tone it down. Just so it don't look like that's what we just did. And we'll pull it out towards our little path out here. And that's going to clean up our perspective pretty good for us. Just that easy. See how we did that? Alright, now you got to sit here and think, okay, is that dark? Is that too dark? Is it light enough? You know, what color do I want my roof? There's a whole lot of decisions you got to make right now. All I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to pick me up some straight yellow ochre. No other color involved. And I'm just going to come right here and I'm going to start right in the middle, pulling this color down. And I want enough of it that I can work with it. And I'll come over here on this corner and I'll just start working this yellow ochre in. And I'm not pulling hard, I'm just pulling down real easy. But now this color is dark that's up here, so to lighten it up we may have to go pick up another color. I don't know. And we probably will. And that other color will have to be white. But when working with white, just be careful. Because you don't want too much of it up here. Because it will take over everything. It'll kill all your dark color. And right now, we don't want to kill all our dark color. We are looking to lighten things up, but not light enough that we kill all our dark. Because we still want to have streaks up here that kind of look like old wood and old boards. And if this color gets too dark on you up here, it ain't gonna look that way. It just won't do it. Alright. That's not too bad right there as far as color goes. And then I'll just use straight yellow ochre for this side, because this side don't need to be real light. I'll just pull in some color over here. There should be plenty for that side. Alright, now let's take some white now and go up here and put a couple of highlights on our little staple. We'll
come right down this side right here. And we'll just pull down at an angle across here. And then just kind of work it around to make it look like it's round up here. Just like so. Just like that. All the way around. Then we'll come down on the sides and just add a little light in here. Just, it don't have to be much, just a little. And pull this color all the way down on our roof right here. Just like so.
Make it look like it's sitting up there on our roof. And then we'll take just a little bit of red, straight red on our brush.
And we'll come up here and start just adding that red right over the brown. And what that'll do is it'll tone that red down enough that it'll make it look like old rusty metal, or it won't get real bright. But it'll be just enough to add the color we need up here. Now, when you get up here around your steeple, just come up to it and pull under it. Don't come up here and pull through it. But then come back over here on your roof line and pull down this way. And then come back under your steeple.
And see, it makes it look like it's sitting down on top of the building now.
In fact, it looks like it's sitting too high up on the building. Alright, just pull that red on down in your roof like so.
We're just going to have to go with it for now. Alright, then I'm going to come back and I'm going to pick up a little more of the Van Dyke Brown.
And I'm going to come up here now and I'm going to put me an indication. Alright, and how I'm going to make this door is I'm going to come right through the center, straight down. I'm going to come off to this side with a little semicircle, and then this side with a little semicircle,
And then get some more color.
and just fill the whole thing in, just like so. Just like that.
That'll just make it look like a little entranceway into the church. And we'll come in here
with a little darker color. And we'll give this a little darker shadow right here to give it the indication that it's thick and that you're going to actually be walking into something. And then just round it off. Lighten this color down, just like so.
Right, then we're going to need the indication of a door back in there. So now we need a little bit of light to make it look like we actually entering into something.
So we want to come in here and just give the indication of a door back here. Just like so. Just make it look like we got us a door back in here. Comes all the way up. Like so. And we will put us a little line down the middle to make it look like the door. Is right here. And like it just splits.
Alright, that is not doing what I want it to do. At all. Alright, nix that whole idea.
Okay. We're just gonna come up here and put us a big wide front door on our church. Just like so. Then I'll take a little of the blue and bring it down here and mix it with some of my Van Dyke brown to get me a black working. Get me a good strong black color. Then I'll come back up here and I'll give it a dark line right down the middle.
To make it look like two separate doors. Alright.
Then I'll use this same black color and I'll come right here for the window. And I'll put another window in here. Like so. And I'll put another window right here. Just like so.
And I think that little church probably would benefit
If it had a little cross on the front of the building up here. Alright, well that don't want to work either, so we'll just give it some dark wood shapes in here. Just here and there. Stuff that don't want to work, we ain't gonna fight with it. That's for sure.
Alright. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty far off back there. So now we'll pick us up just a little bit of our dark sienna.
And I'll come right in here. And just kind of work us in a little path that comes down and turns and goes back toward the church. Like so. And then when we just start pulling it out like so, and just pull this path right into it. Just make it a part of it. Just like so.
Because we got some highlighting to do still, so we can highlight that here in a few minutes.
Alright, now I'm going to pick up just a little bit of the white now. And I'll come up here and give this a little bit of, not that much. Just give this just a little bit of color right here. Just to touch it some. Pull it down to the red, make it straight.
Just like that. And I would say we're pretty much done with our little building. Because if we keep fiddling around,
we're gonna be done lost the shape of it, and the next thing you know, it ain't gonna look right.
alright. Now next, we got to decide whether we want some big trees in here or not. Uh-oh, I have to work on that roof. Gotta fix that real quick. How did I miss that? That won't be hard to fix. We'll just come over here and grab us a little of that color we used to make that.
And we'll just come up here and straighten it right back up. Just that easy. Just like so. Pull it down through our windows. On the sides.
Just make it look like old boards in there.
I guess while we're up here doing that, we can add a couple up here
In these dark spaces just to
give it the indication of some old boards. Just barely pulling it down here and there. I like so.
I like the way that turned out. Okay. Now, don't nobody stare real hard at this. They'll never notice that one little spot where we messed up on the roof. My eave should have been a little under that steeple, or I should have went a little further back with it, really, but I messed up there, and I didn't. But now if they bust us on that, you know, we'll make a 99 on this thing. If that's the only thing they get us on. We won't cry about 1 point. Okay. Now we got that in there. Alright, we can do some thinking here. This is what my next step needs to be. I'll be right back. Alright, I did some studying on it, and I think the first thing I'm going to do is highlight my path. And to do that, I'm going to come up here and grab some white on my fan brush, just right here on the corner. And this is that little number 3 I told you the other day I had that was kind of raggedy. And I'm going to mix just a little bit of ochre in that color, just a little bit. And I just got it right here on the corner. That's white and ochre, that's all it is.
Then I'm come up here where our path stopped at. And I'm just gonna start pulling some color across here. Just real lightly. Just letting them bristles just do what they want to do. I'm not even trying to control them right now. I'm just pushing them down and pulling them straight across. Letting them do what they want to do. Let what wants to pull off, and what don't. That's all I'm doing. Until I get out here to where it's a little wider. And then once it gets a little wider out here, I'm going to start working with it. Like right in here. I'm going to come in here and just start coming across and just barely touching in places. Just pulling it across here, just like so.
barely pulling it. Just like that. Just letting that paint scrub off in places. Wherever it feels like it wants to come off at, just where I'm letting it come off. I'm not trying to make it darker or lighter, nowhere. I'm just letting it come off wherever it wants to come off. Just like so. Just basically dry brushing it, if you want to know the truth. Because that color that's down there, that dark color, is almost dry. Alright, then just go back over and kind of smooth it down through here. And just go on off with it in the distance back there. And then I'll flip my brush over and come on this side and do the same thing. Just to pull some of that up to the grass. Just like that. That way it makes that grass look like it come out here and net it in places. Just like so. Alright, on this one, we'll just barely graze across it. Just barely. Just to knock a little bit of the color down. Just like so. Maybe a little more than that. Maybe just a tad more than that. Yeah, there we go. Just to kind of give it a little flavor there. Alright, now, since we've done that, I'm going to come back up here. Now I'm going to pick up just a little bit of the of the dark sienna. Just a little bit. And I'll come back up here and I'll just lightly graze that dark sienna around up here in places. Just to add a little dirt to it. Here and there. Just to make it look like it's got some dirt still left in it. Like so. And just pull it around like that. All I'm doing is just staining that first color we put on. About like so. And that's just gonna give it that little look. Alright, now with this same fan brush, let me show you what I'm fixing to do. I'm going to come up here. I ain't washing it or nothing. I'm going to pull both sides through Van Dyke Brown, just like that. See how I'm doing it? Both sides. But then on one side, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to pull it straight through my titanium white. Just on one side. That's all I'm doing. One side's got Van Dyke Brown, the other side's got titanium white. Alright. Bravery test. Oh, I hope I'm ready for it. Alright, I'm going to come right up here. And I'm going to start out real light with the white to the left. And I'm just going to start pulling down. And start pulling down. Real light. Boy, it didn't work out, did it? Alright, so come back up here, load up the Van Dyke Brown side again, come back over here on our white side, load it back up again, and with the white side to the left again, I'm just going to come back up here, pick back up, and as we've come down, the further we come down, the more pressure we're going to apply. And we'll just give it a little foot out here to set on. Just like so. Just like that. And we got us a big tree in there. Alright. Alright, we're going to do the same thing. Load the brush up again. Van Dyke Brown on one side. Titanium white on the other. This time, we're going to have the titanium white pointed this way. See? Alright, this time I'm going to come right up here and I'm going to come right over here behind the church. Just right over behind the church. Oh, look at there. I cut the roof completely off the church. Alright, get back up here. Alright. The further we go down, the darker and the more we want to push down. And I'm going to bring this one all the way off the canvas. All the way off the canvas. Just like so. And let it start getting bigger out here at the bottom. Just like that. Alright. I didn't want to cut my church off, but I did, so now I just pretty much got to live with it. Alright, let's come back up here and fix the bottom of this one. Give him a little foot stand on. Alright, I don't know what y'all think, but I think if you had a field that big, I really and truly think somewhere out through here there's going to be some little indication of some bushes or something. I mean, it's not just going to be a field of grass. I feel like somewhere out here there's going to be a couple little bushes and twigs sticking up. That's just what I think. Like this tree right here, I'm pretty sure it's got some stuff growing up around it. There's probably a couple way back here in the distance. I mean, I would think there would be. Right in here, I'm pretty sure there's a couple little indications of some little bushes and stuff just sticking up here and there. Just at random out here. I don't think this field would be this solid with nothing growing in it. There's probably a couple growing back in here. Almost off the canvas. Just kind of growing up. Probably one over here on this side. Kind of growing out here. All back here along this line of stuff back here. There's probably one back there, I would think, growing. Just kind of showing out. Alright, let's get just a little bit of, well, let's wash some paint out of this brush first. Alright, let me leave a little of that thinner in it. I'll come right up here into this yellow. I'll come over here and get us a little green. And a little of the ochre, a little of the Indian yellow. I'll just mix all these colors right here in this same little pile where we've been mixing. Put just a drop of thinner in there to loosen it up some. Alright, now that we got a little color on here, we'll come up here and just touch these little bush areas just to give them some life just along the top, because we want to leave that
we're gonna leave that bottom kind of dark. That way it holds some ground for us under there. We'll come over here under this tree. We'll do the same thing. Give him some little indications of some twigs and little doors. Just some little doors across here and there. And we'll hit this one a little bit. And all I'm doing is just pushing straight up on this brush. That's all I'm doing. Just going in, pushing straight up. That's all I'm doing. Just straight up. Just letting this get in there and mix with this other color. And that's it. And see, it's just doing all the work for me. All I'm doing is just touching it. The brush is actually doing all the work. Putting all the color where it needs to be. That's the beauty of your brush when you get it trained. It'll do what you tell it to do. Every once in a while, if you want to come over and pick some of the Indian yellow up to give it a different flavor, do that. All it's going to do is give you a little different color bush. That's all. And you know how I feel about difference in colors. I ain't got a problem with it. You come over and get your little red one every once in a while. Make your little red bush if you want one. Like way back here, you know. You could use a little red bush way back here. Just looks like something kind of flowering back here. Just, hey, I'm a little bush. Not like so. Anywhere that green's not doing it for you, just come back in there and touch it with a little of that red. And it'll, you know, it may just give you the indication of some little flowering looking bushes. Just like that. That's really all you need. Just something to indicate a difference in color. Alright, now I gotta put some limbs up here. So I'm gonna come right over here into my dark sienna and my Van Dyke brown with the paint thinner on my brush, and just get it loaded up with paint, pull it through. And I want to be careful this time not to pull out a whole lot of thinner like I did over here. Alright, let's say we give this tree a little indication of a limb way up here. And we'll just pull it out, let them reach toward the top of the canvas up here. Just let him go on off if he wants to. And then maybe a little thicker one right here. Just kind of pull him through and let him make his way out into the world. Not like so. Then we'll drop down to about right here with another little thick one and let him do his own thing out here. Not like so. We'll come back and thicken him up a little. Just about like that. Tell you what we'll do. We'll go ahead and let him have a little frame come out like so.
Yeah, I like that. Now, oh, I don't want a whole lot of limbs covering up my church. Alright, tell you what we'll do. I'm gonna come out on this tree. I'm gonna come up here with a limb. I'm just gonna come out across it and across these other trees over here, just like so. And I'll do the same up through here. Get a bit more thinner. Alright, let's try this one again. Alright. We'll bring a couple stretching up that way. And I'll bring one up that way. And one like so. We'll bring this up a little taller. And we'll give him a little arm. We'll give him another little arm. And then I'll pull it up just a little. And we're not really gonna put a whole lot more color on this tree. We're just gonna kind of let it have a few leaves on it, even though it's a big tall tree. We're not gonna let it have many more limbs than that, because I really don't want to. I don't want to kill the little church we're built. And I got a feeling if we come out with some more limbs out there, it's really gonna hurt it, the look of it. And I don't want to do that if we don't have to. I really don't, because I think it'll look better if we don't. Right, we can work on them tree trunks here in just a second. Alright, now we got a brush up here. It's already got the dark color and it's sitting in the thinner. So I'll come over here and knock some of that out. Dry a little of it off. We definitely don't want to put no thin paint up here first. Alright, just like we've been doing, I'm going to tap right into I'm going to come over here and get just a little of the sap green. Then I'm going to come over here right into the dark sienna. And I'm just going to tap these two colors together. Just like so, making sure the bristles are open. Then I'm going to come up here and just real lightly give myself some tree shapes up here. Some little limbs, leaves. And don't want a lot, just here and there, because like I said, I really don't want to kill our church if we don't have to. And since we're the one painting the painting, we don't have to. And I'll come across here and out here, just like so. I'd rather knock a few of these limbs off these trees than I had cover our little church up more than that. Maybe a little bit right there. Just a little, not much. And then we'll just strengthen him up here a little to make him look a little more full. About like that. I hope we get away with this. I don't know. A little more green, a little more brown. Then we'll come over here on this one, and we'll do it the same way. Just tap some loose leaves up here. Just give it the indication of some leaves on these limbs. Come across the trunk, the main trunk, and then do the same right in here. And that's about all we're going to do to it. I figure we make them both kind of look close to the same, we might get away with this illusion. In fact, oh God, I hate to come across that church. I don't want to. I'm not. I'll come over here on this tree. I'll just make it a little bigger up here. I'm not gonna kill that church. I just can't make myself do it. Oh, that limb just don't look right cut off right there though. Alright, y'all need to talk to me here. Alright, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna come out a little bit. God, I hate to do that. I really didn't want to do that. Why did I put that tree in there? Well, what do you do? Alright, now I'm gonna come back up here in my yellows, and my yellow ochre, and my green, with a little thinner on the brush, and my Indian yellows. I'm just going to tap all these colors right on, making sure we leave these bristles open. And we'll come up here and start doing a little highlighting. And the reason I went with the yellows because I got a green one over here beside it. I didn't want to get over here to it and have these two colors tie together, you know, because that just really wouldn't look right if it did. It'd make them tie together and you wouldn't see them. Alright, and we'll come through here just a little bit, not cover up the church much, just I want to have to. And over here, add some color in over here, just like that. Alright, then I'll get up here in my ochre, in my crimson. I'll bring it back down here to the yellow and the ochre. And I'll come up here and start giving it a few highlights here and there. Just pop some color on it. Here and there. And if we end up changing the flavor, well, that'd be a good thing. And we'll come over here on this one and give it the indication of some color. Come through our trunk right here. Give it a little color. About like so. Man, you can just barely tell there's a building back there now. Whew, I hate that happened. Alright, well let's finish this tree up right quick so we can say we got us some paint. Alright, I'm going to take what's left of the white, and it's got some brown in it, not much. And I'm going to take just a little of the blue and bring over. And the first thing I'm going to do is come right up the back side of it here. And just touch on this blue in a couple places. Up through here. And then on this side I'm going to touch this side of it with a little bit of it. Not like so. Alright, then I'm going to come back up here and start just tapping with the knife. Just lightly tapping. Just like so. See how I'm doing that? Just barely tapping from that outside corner back in. Just real light. Just giving it that little reflective light out here that you always want your trees to have. Not like so.
Alright, then we'll come on this side. I'm going to flip the knife over because we already got a little paint over here to work with. And I'll do the same thing. Just lightly tapping. Just lightly tapping to give this tree a texture. When this paint dries, you can touch it and feel the texture. It's pretty neat how it does that. Right, bring it a little darker up here. Just let it. Alright, let it get a little brown. Cover some of that color up. That's too blue. There we go. And I'll just come down through here like so. Then we'll pick us up a little of the white and bring up here into our Indian yellow. Even though it's got that other color on it, it'll still mix with that Indian yellow and get bright. And then in just a few places up through here, I'm just going to touch it. Whoa, that's way too much. Let's take a little of that off. Alright. I got frustrated because I covered my little cabin up over here. Now, ain't nothing more to go right. Alright, we got just a little paint up here now. So let's just touch on a little indication of color right through here. We'll pick us up a little smaller roll this time. We won't get as much. How about that? We'll come up here and just start tapping it on and working it back. And we're just going to do this in a couple places. Not many. Just make it look like there's a little light hitting it here and there. Just a little. Just give it the indication of a little sun hitting it. Just here and there. And give it that textured look and pull it back toward the blue. That's all you got to do. And it'll make your tree look round. Alright, now this side we got to do the other side on this tree. So we'll come right up here. I'm going to start, let's say about right here. And we'll just touch at random. Give it a little bit. Just a little bit. Don't want much paint, or we're going to end up having what happened over there. Just use that paint real sparing. And just give yourself the indication. I don't think you're going to have a whole lot of light in here, but we do need to add a little. Just in a couple places. Just to show it. Alright. Then we'll pick up that little round brush we had earlier. And we want to come up here and just real lightly blend the middle where these two colors touch. We want to just blend them together and just kind of lightly pull them down and just kind of blend them together where they meet. And that's going to help them blend together and do what they're supposed to be doing. And we'll do the same thing right here. Just right down the middle where they meet. Just let them blend together real lightly. This is a very light touch. And then just let them do what they got to do. Up here we're just going to work on that one a little bit because they really tried to get away from us. Alright. Then right in here, we'll grab just a little bit more of the color right there. And then well, let's try it again. Right here. There we go. Now, just pull it down like so. Alright, we can blend this side out here a little more, because I'm seeing some pretty thick piles of paint out here.
Alright, now I like that better. Yeah. Alright. Then I'll go back up here and I'll pick up a script liner. And I'll bring it right here into this bright red. And I'll come right over here. And I'll put my mark on it. We'll call it done. And I named it Country Road because it just looks like a little country road to me that is running back into the distance back in there and just going off to nowhere with what we started out with, a little church on the way that I killed, and I'm sorry I killed the church, but you can still see it and you can still see part of the cross, so we know it's a church. We know where to go if we want to. Alright, thank y'all very much for joining me on this. I really hope y'all enjoyed this one. Let me know something in the comments, because, you know, if y'all don't, I don't know. Just remember, I love you guys. God loves you more. And the channel is growing still slowly, and I'm still very thankful for it. And I just want to say all y'all have a blessed night, and I'll see you next time right here on Painting with Harold.